it's Khoa here. In this video, we're going to be covering the differences between outbound sales and inbound sales. So let's go. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a line down the middle. Okay, and now we've got our outbound. So this is our outbound column, and we got inbound. What outbound is, it's when you're actively going out there and being proactive in your sales activities. So that would be cold calling. Okay. You've got your cold calling, and then you've got your cold emailing. You've got your cold emailing. You know, there might be also some door knocking, whoever does that these days. Okay, so you got your door knocking and anything else you can think of, right? So it's really just approaching prospects cold. They don't know you, they don't know anything about you, and you're going out there and you're going to pitch whatever it is that you're pitching to them, and then trying to get a sale from there. So inbound, what this means is that it's actually leads who are coming to you. Okay, so in order to generate inbound leads or inbound prospecting, it's actually, you can do it through paid advertising, and you can also do it through, so I'll get into these ones. So there's a huge difference between the outbound and inbound. So let's say that I want to go up to 100 prospects, right? 100 prospects, and I want to generate 100 leads through inbound. So let's say that we're going to try outbound sales activities. So I'm going to approach 100 prospects through cold calling. So I'm going to get a list of all these people that I think might be relevant to the business, and I'll try cold calling, or I'll try cold emailing, or I'll try door knocking. Statistically, you've got probably between 1% to about 3% of actually getting some sort of lead or some sort of positive result, because 99% of the time, right, they're going to say no, but 1% of the time they're going to say yes. So that's pretty much the way you need to look at outbound activities. These people don't know you, they're not interested, and you know, we all get those phone calls, right, out of the blue. These telemarketers just call us. But with the inbound, you're going to find that let's say that you get 100 leads that actually contact you. These people that actually contact you, right, and actually want to know more about actually already searching for your product and service and actually reaching out and contacting you, you're going to find a conversion rate of between 30% all the way up to 80%. Okay, so you, out of the 100 people, out of the 100 leads that you get, you're actually going to get between 30 to 80 leads. You might be thinking, oh wow, okay, from now on I'm just going to do inbound, because outbound is going to be a waste of time, right? But the thing is that you need to know that with inbound and outbound is that it's a strategy. It really is a strategy. So you want to combine both. You want to combine both outbound and you want to combine both inbound at the same time. So let's have a look at another example. So let's cover inbound. Let's cover outbound first. Okay, so outbound. So with outbound, there's a lot of benefits for outbound. Is that it's mostly free, because it doesn't cost that much money to, you know, do a lot of cold calling. It doesn't cost money to drop emails. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do door knocking. So the really big advantage is that it's free. However, another activity, it can be time. Another advantage could be time. At the same time, really depends on what you're doing, because sometimes an outbound activity doesn't require too much time for you to execute that, because how long does that take me to pick up the phone and cold call? It doesn't take me that much time at all, right? So that's the really great thing about outbound, is that it's free and doesn't take up too much of your time. So it's a pretty good strategy for small businesses, or if you're just got a limited budget and you just can't really spend that much money to try and get your leads. So outbound would require, it's free, it's free, it doesn't take up too much time, and it's a pretty good budget. However, there is a caveat to time, is that it doesn't take up too much time in terms of the actual activity, okay? But it does take up a lot of time in the entire process, okay? So for example, if I were to do a lot of cold calling, if I want to do 100 cold calls per day, that might take me between 3 hours all the way up to 8 hours. Because if you factor in cold calling, the thing is that you might be spending 10 minutes trying to reach person, get past gatekeepers and so forth. So it can take up a lot of time, right? It really depends on the activity there. If you're sending out cold emails, it'll take you a bit of time to write those emails. So you got to think about that, is that even though it's free, right, it does require a lot of time in terms of the entire process, but the actual activity of picking up the phone, it doesn't require too much time. So that's something just to have a think about, okay? But ultimately, it's a pretty good strategy. If I were to start from scratch, if I don't have a budget, if I've got a small business and I've got no budget, right, I'll do outbound. Okay? Do outbound because you don't have a budget and you just gotta, generate the leads out of nowhere fast. And that's the thing with outbound. And I was able to get a lot of really good responses through cold calling, and also email as well. So that's something to think about. So let's have a look at inbound now. Okay, so the thing with inbound is that it's qualified. The biggest thing with qualified, I'm not sure if I spelled that right, but oh well, it's qualified. So that means is that the people that's coming to you, right, is that they're qualified. They're buyers. They're buyers, they're interested, and they're actually looking for your product. So they're already qualified. They're interested in your product already. So that's the reason why they're reaching out to you. And another powerful benefit of inbound is that there's a high chance of conversion. Higher chance of conversion. Okay, so the great thing about inbound is that they're qualified, they're interested, they're buyers, and they've got a high chance of conversion there. But the downside is that it costs money. Okay, so for example, let's say that I've got 100 leads going into a business. Okay, I might even get 80% of them might even be qualified. Let's get that right this time. So 80% of them are qualified now because they have a budget, they've got money, depending on your marketing activities, but most of the time they're qualified. So that means that you're working with 80 leads now. Okay, the other 20%, they're not qualified, but the other 80 are now leads. Okay, and you've also got a high chance of conversion. So let's say that my conversion rate is 50%. I'm going to get 40 sales. And that's it. 40 sales. So you can see that with inbound is that you're going to get a lot more qualified leads, you're going to get more sales and so forth. But the biggest caveat to that is that it costs money. Okay? It costs money. That's the biggest thing. And how do you generate these leads, these inbound leads? You do paid advertising. Okay? You can do it online using Google Ads. And you can also do Facebook ads. Okay, so if you do want to get to this level of generating more leads, closing more deals, you might want to move down to the inbound sales strategy. But the biggest thing is that you need a budget. Okay, you need a budget. That's the big thing. So I find that it does take a bit of time to learn inbound. You're going to have to learn Google Ads, you have to learn Facebook ads, and you're going to need a budget. Those are the three things. But if you can master this thing called inbound sales, then you'll be able to increase your sales. Okay? So I want to leave you another thing is I want to show you one more thing. Is that try and think of your sales like this. Okay? You want to have a pretty good mix, so you might want to divide your time. So you might want to have a good mix, so 20% and 80%. 80% might be inbound, so you want to spend 80% of your time with inbound leads. The reason is because these guys are already qualified, they're buyers, and they're already interested, right? But the other 20%, right, is your outbound. So that's your outbound activity. So you might be spending, let's say that you got 8 hours per day, you got 2 hours, okay, to spend on outbound. But the other 6 hours, is with your inbound. The reason is because if you get more leads, you want to spend more time with the people who've got the money, and they have the budget, they have the they're always qualified. So spend as much time as you can with those guys, and any other spare time, spend it with the outbound. So that's how you can structure it. Okay. And always remember, I'd like to leave you one last thing when you're doing outbound sales and inbound sales. Always be prospecting. This is a big thing. Always be prospecting. Now, there's a reason why you have a sales slump. If you've got a sales slump and you're not getting any leads or you can't close any deals, the reason is because of lack of prospecting. If you didn't prospect, by no prospecting today, if you don't prospect today, then your future is not going to have a big pipeline. You're not going to have any prospects in future, so it's going to affect your future. So always remember, you should always be prospecting. If your pipeline is big, if you've got a lot of leads coming in, keep prospecting. If you've got a little pipeline, keep prospecting. You always have to be prospecting. So always allocate 1 to 2 hours in the morning to prospect. Okay? Do that. Do that every single day without fail. Okay? Do not let anyone interrupt this time. You do that, right? And you always build a big pipeline full of leads from inbound and outbound activities, and you'll always be able to increase your sales, make more money, and live the dream lifestyle that we all want. Okay, so hope this video helps. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.